Hey guys, I started and stopped the writing of this video many times because there are a lot of things that are bottled up inside of me that if they came out, probably would be a little unhealthy and lack a decent amount of grace. You know, just last week we had another white male try and barge into a black church. He was unable to do it and then went into a Kroger. He shot a black man named Maurice Stollard, who was there with his 12-year-old grandson, and then turned around and shot a black woman named Vicki Jones in the parking lot. We had bombs being sent to politicians in the name of standing up for a tribe or political party, and that had more ties to, of course, with white supremacy. I mean, for Pete's sake, someone who survived the Holocaust was murdered on American soil at her place of worship by a homegrown terrorist fed by racial hatred at a Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh. And I want to read off the names of those that were killed because rather than just saying them, because I want us to, when you hear the names, I think it sinks in a little bit differently. There was Joyce Feinberg. There was Richard Gottfried. There was Rose Mallinger. There was Jerry Rabanowitz. There was Cecil Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and then Irving Younger. Those are all the names of the folks that were killed this past weekend. And because I just want to focus on one thing for this video, and that's this, to stop saying it's about somebody else. Here's what I mean. This is not, or I should say this is an us problem, not a them problem. You know, we can scream out mental illness, and that's certainly a part of the discussion with all of this, but we also can't ignore the system and the culture that has been built up that actually feed into what we consistently see in our country. You know, it kind of reminds me of Matthew 24:12 when Jesus was talking about what would happen in the future. And now I'm not saying he was specifically talking about 2018 or anything like that, but I think this line does apply. He said this: because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. Now you might say, yes, that's what I've been saying. It's because of all those wicked non-Christians. But honestly, I think what we see around us should force a confrontation with our own souls towards what we believe or how we act, how we talk, and how we think as Christians. So to all my fellow Christians watching this right now, here are just some things that I think we can ponder with all of this. We are the ones who don't take our violent language and culture seriously. We are the ones who sacrifice our standards and vote people into office that lack morality and civility. We are the ones who yell, get angry, and throw our hands up at the powers that be, yet don't love our neighbors and the people we interact with every day. We are the ones who allow culture to shape our life more than Christ. We are the ones who dismiss the notion that racism is alive and well. We are the ones who take our cues from the media rather than investing in and learning from people around us that think and act differently. We are the ones who don't take the time to get to know people's stories. We are the ones who crave power, crave control, crave superiority. We are the ones who choose a nation over a savior. We are the ones who neglect to address and confront our own bias and humbly seek out ways to grow. We are the ones who choose to desensitize ourselves to the things we watch, or maybe to the things that we listen to. We are the ones who seemingly ignore our lack of generosity. We are the ones who raise kids to care more about grades than character, or status than humility, or maybe performance rather than serving others. We are the ones who keep our mouths shut at family gatherings when racial comments are made. We are the ones who care more about being a citizen of the U.S. than a citizen of heaven. And we are the ones who would rather honor ourselves than God. So in the end, here's just the reality. We are a part of this culture, and we have helped shape it. Until we begin to take the time to honestly reflect and see where we are also a part of the problem that we see in our culture today, the needle on this won't even move an inch or a fraction of an inch. We will be stuck in the same exact cycle and discussing the same exact things over and over again. Honestly, I think until we own up to our own contributions to this culture and then get that part fixed, what we see before us will just continue to happen. So honestly, I believe that even though we are part of the problem, we can also see that we are part of the solutions as Christians as well. We can choose, right? We can choose to follow Jesus rather than culture. That's a novel idea. We can choose the things that we type, meaning the things that we type in comments, or we can choose the words that we use in our opinions and the tone to which that we do talk to other people in conversation. We can choose to open ourselves up to learning from people that come from different perspectives, rather than just turning our backs and then running away or just staying with the people that we know. We can choose grace over condemnation. We can choose forgiveness over bitterness. We can choose humility over pride and love over fear. We can choose to see the best in people even when they may not choose to see the best in us. We can choose to serve others. We can choose to live generously. We can choose to emulate how Christ, how he loved everyone. And we can choose to not become numb to these atrocious, evil things, and actually take a second and let it impact our lives. You know, whenever we see stuff like this happen, if we aren't challenged in some way with what we see, then why in the world would we ever, and I really mean this, why would we expect anything to ever change? When we always blame things on someone else, we not only lack empathy, but we lack the conviction to actually live and love differently. When we think that someone else will, they'll take care of it, or they'll take care of the problems, or maybe we think this way, that if they just put a law into place, that will fix it. We're just actually pushing off the reality of what really matters and then paving a smoother road for things like this to keep happening. To my Christians, we can make a difference if we choose to. We just have to actually mean it when we say we follow Jesus. So that's the challenge for us. Do we really want to live and love differently? Do we really want to make a difference? But we have to choose to actually do that, and to ever verbalize that we are a Christian, a follower of Jesus. Then that is a responsibility for both you and for me. Thanks for listening, guys.